この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Mushishi. We finished off the first season and we are on to a 1 episode, 40-minute OVA called Hihamukage. And one place that I saw listed this as like an episode that's attached to the first season, and one place, actually the files that I downloaded listed it as episode 00 of season 2. I don't know which one's more accurate, and I don't know that it really matters. It's somewhere between Mushishi and Mushishi's Okusho, and I assume that it's based on some chapters in the manga, like most of Mushishi has been. But its title, Hihamukage, is translated to The Shadow That Devours the Sun. So I got a feeling we're going to be dealing with some kind of eclipse here, but I am wondering if the eclipse, the shadow that goes over the sun, is actually a mushi or something. Because usually a solar eclipse is the moon passing in front of the sun. I don't think there's any other way for that to happen, but maybe that's not what happens in this universe, and maybe it's a weird thing with a mushi eating our source of light and life. But I kind of doubt that it's that sinister either. So I think we're just gonna have to get on into this two-parter episode of Mushishi and see what the heck we see, and find out what the heck we're gonna find out, and see what Ginkgo's gonna do about it. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I have to say here at the beginning. Let's get right into it as a kind of bridge between season 1 and Zokusho, which we will then start watching next week, and I'm excited for. Cool. So I've got Mushishi Hihamukage, season 2, episode 00, as listed on the video versions that I have. As with the first season, I downloaded the Neo Hivik, Neo HEVC version of Mushishi Zokusho, which came with episode 00 Hihamukage. It's up and ready to go, sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction, as usual. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description down there. Timer-based version will be up on YouTube, and if you want to sync up your own copy with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready, because the beep beep timer to count you down to 0 will be coming at you right now. Let's go. Okay. Classic opening. That just looks like a bird. That's a living snowflake. Allie Care? No song? So who or what are the two? Sun and moon, but then flower and flower, as though it's like brother and sister or something. Special episode. Sore Feet song by Allie Care? No? Oh, okay. Hey, are we at, what's his faces? Ooh, that's really pretty. Yeah, that's Adashino. We are at what's his faces. Hey, buddy. What's good? Okay. Quite a title. I like the gradients. Duality. Hello, children. Hello. Cool. Okay. It'll be weird. It'll be unlike anything you've probably ever seen. Oh. Oh, that's terrifying. Shut up. Cool intro. Yeah, that sounds about right. That also sounds right. Ginkgo's a weird one. Oh, is he in the library? With what's her name? Tanyu and Tama. Ah! Ah! Ooh! It's all coming together. I don't know where it's going, though. Hello. Okay. Is that the light vein just bursting forth? Oh, okay. A pillar of Mushi. I was thinking that there's some kind of Mushi in them that hates the light. 3/10 more. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, if you look at the sun during an eclipse, you can fully burn or just burn your retinas out. Continued exposure to the river of light. That's really interesting that can work. Is that the girl who grabbed the string? It's not. It's a different person. With great compassion. But what if lesser known Mushi rear their heads? Which? The disappearing? Which? Hihami, one of the other ones that hasn't been mentioned, I see. Oh my god, the little flip of hair. Oh fuck. So cute. God damn it, Tanyu. What why you so best? Hmm. Hmm. Prepping for the important stuff. Good. Good. Thank you, children. Yeah. Or at all. You put a pinhole in a box and you look at the reflection okay. Aha! Oh my god, my precious glasses. Mm. But the darkness of your leg, that sucks. That sucks. Sorry, Tanya. Well, we've got a 40-minute episode, so I assume they won't. I'm sorry, I'm super yawny. It's because I'm not as hyper caffeinated as I have been recently. Hoo hoo hoo. Ha ha ha. And that's our first Ginkgo of the episode. Taking a bite. Ow. I wouldn't. But will it? The birds know. Oh. Mushi, baby. Wait, Adashino is unable to see Mushi? I guess that makes sense. He's just an enthusiast. But that's weird. I thought he was able to. Oh boy, what music! Wait, was that the Inkstone girl? Yeah, that's the guy with the kids? These are all fucking characters. Or at least a lot of them are. That's amazing. That's really cool. It creates this feeling of connection across space between all these people. Yeah, that was that couple on the beach. Oh, and the sparkles of the corona. Hey. Black sun. Object permanence, child. It's still back there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah. And it returns. Heat to cold to heat. What a pretty background. Huh? Oh. This has got to be the Hihami. Oh. But it's not one thing, it's a cloud of various Mushi. Ginkgo, baby. Okay. What do we do about that? Okay. So that could be a long search during which the sun is gone. Got to get everybody involved. Okay. Okay. This is interesting. So the root of it is somewhere. No, it for sure will not. It will just get darker. That's genuinely terrifying. Oh. Ah. Out of the ordinary. It's here. Whoa. It 100% does. And it's somewhere near here, because it's only affecting us here. Okay. Will there be other effects of it, too? Do you want the sun to come back? How would he know? Yeah. Do you have a better idea of how to get the sun back? The sun is gone. Yes, I didn't cause that. That is genuinely scary. Well, if you're a farmer, you base it around being terrified and looking at your own impending death because there's no food growing. So that's not good. Oh. Albino. She can go out. She can go out. Whoa. Unexpected results. Hi. I also have white hair and pale eyes. Not quite. A little bit different. Oh, right. Yeah, he fully doesn't know. Right. There's no light. She's been trapped inside for her whole fucking life. Marks? Yeah, the one you don't trust right now. Hi. Trying to help. Not of. Not of her albinism, certainly. Are they twins? They seem to be almost exactly the same age. Maybe that's the duality that we were talking about in the very beginning. Pregnant with our daughters, so they are twins. Oh. But as Shadow. Yeah, weird. Oh, and she passed out. Right, sure. Oh, sorry, man. And she hates the sunlight. Whoa. Okay. Damn. What a life. Right. It was the shadow. That sounds like what we're dealing with. Oh. Yori? You okay? Oh. Can we get Hiyori? Can we get her to go work in the Mushi library? Yeah. Like, can we apprentice her to Tanyu? Oh. Wow, what great animation on those butterflies. All right, we've seen this episode. It turns into a cocoon and you all fall asleep. The meadow she was talking about. You are not Daijobu. Oh, man. She wanted to play with her sister, man. Right. Yeah. She knows, though. Oh. Oh, I hate it, but at least she's in a family that genuinely loves her. Oh. Oh, you don't lie like that. It doesn't make her, it's not gonna make her feel better. You can still bring a piece of the meadow to here. Oh. She doesn't want to trap her sister with her. Cool. Yeah. Yes. And that sucks. Yeah. Oh, pity sucks. She doesn't want to hold you back. But now you're stuck in a difficult position. But she can't. Fuck. That is the worst. That is the worst familial, dramatic, emotional catch-22 ever. Fuck that. Oh, God. My heart. Maybe. She's gonna run away. Or something. Ah, fucking hell. Immediately. Immediately gone. But she can go outside. During the day. Why wouldn't she? But if they fix it while she's gone, she's gonna get burned. She's not gonna have anybody to know, and she's not gonna be able to make it back home. Years. Oh. That's not a bug. That's a Mushi. Very weird. Hello, people. Please don't have villagers blame her as some kind of weird harbinger bullshit. Oof. Of course you would, but that has such ramifications for all the people around you. Yo, the music throughout this episode has been like a step above the as on point as it usually is. And then she carried you back. Oh. I feel my heart being torn apart. Will she find the root herself? It's in this meadow. Oh, those flowers are the flowers in the opening. Mm. That seems like a healthy relationship. Ah, hello, child with the glowing flowers. Wait a sec, glowing flowers. Yes. Okay. Picked him. Almost certainly it is. So you want to destroy. But you don't. But you don't. Right. Yeah. Hmm. Because it wants it. Hmm. As you cannot live in a back room. How strange. Needing the light. God, her face is so expressive. Really carrying the episode. Along with the amazing music and the everything else. The core and the root. Why you glowing? What is this? What is this? I don't like it. She's heading to that meadow. She 100% has been. Being such a tween. Such a fucking tween. Gah! Oh, that's your sister, girl. You love her. But you also resent her. Shit. Mm. Yeah. Why wouldn't it? All these people who need it. Oh my god, and it's the metaphor for her. Oh, duh. She was the sun. It's amazing that they take the extra length here not to tell a more complicated story, but just to add depth. Yep, back down this mountainside. What a great little cut of finding your way down a too steep hill. Hello, Hinata. Root. Core. You may need to go get Ginkgo, dude. I fully almost expected her to speak in the voice of like a Mushi monster. I am not your sister. I am Zool. I am the Keymaster. That does seem like a good step one. Just like the flying invisible girl. It feels like so much of what we've learned about Mushi and stuff over the course of the whole season has been compiled and like comes together to form the choices that we have to make in this episode. It's really interesting. Destroying the beautiful meadow. Yeah. Oh, that's the bad. That's the thing. That's it. We found it. Literally a fight for survival. Oh my god, it's shuddering. Oh my god. Let's go, squad. But it's getting further away as it gets darker, right? Yeah. It's spreading and trying to keep itself in the shadow. They're having a hard day. And it starts to burn. Yay. But actual genuine great. It doesn't? She can go out? Did they actually switch places? But is Hinata? Did they actually switch? Ding. Wow. Wow. Hmm? Those little sparkles, what are those? Her hair is turning black. What about Hinata, though? Oh, okay. Okay. Sure. How's your glowing sister doing? Whoa. Huh. Okay. Be the sun for her. Be her light. Yeah. Oh, they got the line. They fucking nailed every element of this. Every single piece, they nailed it. Shit. Cut back to here. Sell it to Adashino. Hey, bud. Sure is. Okay, the classics. The stuff we have records of. Okay. Huh. don't don't speak with indignation toward him. He saved all your shit. Tanyu. Hey, she deserves to have the records. Fuck yes. It all ties together. He goes back to Tanyu. He tells her the story. We're in that location. That's the rock they sat on. Hello, location. Ah. Yes. His rock. He's pretty fucking reliable, honestly. Maybe not in travel plans. Damn right you are. Patience deserves its reward, Tanyu. Girl, you gotta smooch that white-haired boy. You gotta do it. I know it. I know it's probably not in the cards and not going to happen on screen or anything, but god damn it. Ah, the ship gets stronger. Mm. Glad to have the sun back. Yeah, I should be feeding. We're going into ED, I think. Ah, ah. What an episode. What a double. Man, this is such a good necessary double episode. It's not one episode stretched. It's not more than one episode compacted. It's just fucking right. Everything in it ties into itself. All of the metaphors are multi-layered and all the layers work. Deeply impressed with this episode. I absolutely, absolutely adore this two-parter, or this double-length episode, or whatever the heck you want to call it. I absolutely adore it. The production is on point, if not a step beyond what Mushishi generally brings to the table. It opens in the really classic way with I guess it's is her name Nui? Fuck, I've forgotten her name. That's not fair of me, but I have. With her voice telling us little bits that will become crucial, become deeply important. We see from the beginning the flowers that end up being the thing, Mushishi special episode. Gorgeous waves. I love the slow-paced introduction to Adashino's territory, and that it's like recognizably that territory is crazy. And that's something that holds true throughout this two-parter, is that there are a bunch of things that we have seen before that we see again, and kind of as Ginkgo, when he recognizes Mushi or recognizes symptoms, knows that it's something he's seen before, we're kind of doing the same thing. Like, oh, this is Adashino's place, this is Tanyu's place, this is Ginkgo going out somewhere, and we're also able to recognize elements of the story as it comes to bear, right? Like we're looking at the sun, we're understanding that there's going to be an eclipse here. Adashino leading these children along is great. Inviting Ginkgo, but he's got to take care of some stuff. Cut to library. Ooh, is this that library? Of course it is. Absolutely it is. And everybody's getting prepped, getting ready, figuring out all the information that they need in order to deal with this big solar eclipse and what they can do about it. We get all these ideas and these like records of specific occurrences during these eclipses, and we talk about the way that they must be dealt with, the way that we have to fix them. Shouldn't cause much confusion, but we'll see. And then we foreshadow Hihami as being the scariest possible thing, and indeed it is. The medicine that would fix everything, the cuteness around the big sunglasses, really great. I hope everyone will be okay, don't we all? And the eclipse begins, and it's gorgeous. And beyond just being gorgeous, what we cut through as we see the eclipse happening, we cut through all of these locations with all of these characters, a whole bunch of whom are recognizably characters that we know. And what that does for me is it creates this feeling of connection, of like all of these people live in different places, and probably almost none of them have ever met each other or seen each other, but they look up at the same sky. We're all bound together by something, right? Sort of the same idea as we get when we see the Path of the Light Vein episodes, or the moments where we see the Milky Way galaxy opposed with the light vein. But the sun is even more common and normal and everyday and everywhere, right? Everyone experiences that light just as everyone experiences this eclipse. Now that's actually technically not true. Not everyone in the world experiences solar eclipses when they happen because of the angle of the Earth, right? But in a nation like Japan, most of it is in the same area, the same like distance from the equator or close enough that I think the eclipse encompasses the entire nation and the entire island, and that's pretty freaking cool. Um, so the eclipse occurs and it goes by, and it's just such a gorgeous scene. The art is absolutely fantastic. The backgrounds are absolutely stellar. The slow move of the eclipse is gorgeous. Probably the best depiction of one that I've seen anywhere except like literal film of one. And even then, you don't get the best film of eclipses. So seeing it in animation just really brings it to life. The whole back and forth between, oh, it feels so cold as it eclipses, and oh, it feels so warm as the sun returns is so great. And then something weird starts to happen. And Ginkgo, of course, was sent by Tanyu probably to the location where she thought that the Hihami would appear, and it does. And it's a giant cloud of Mushi. And at this point, we get into the social aspects, something that is taken for granted, that is expected, that is known, that is key and crucial to the lives of every single one of these people because they live in an agrarian society where they must grow food to survive. There's no choice. There's no buts about it. It's you must grow food. There is no artificial lighting to grow food. It doesn't exist. And this is true in the modern day too. But absolutely terrifying to a farming community that the sun is gone. And so off they go searching and searching to try to find what this one Mushishi says is the reason. And as they're unable to find it, their resentment builds up. Why do we have to keep doing this? Shouldn't we be putting away food just in case this doesn't go away? No, there is no just in case this doesn't go away. There's either we all die eventually because we can't farm, or we find the root and we get rid of this problem now. And of course, Ginkgo's on that path, but you can't necessarily convince people of that, right? I love that we bring back in the letter system. It's so crucial that we had that episode when we did, and it makes its appearance elsewhere as well. I saw this background and saw this like vine around this tree stood out to me. It's just so detailed, and the lighting on it is so detailed. It's really interesting that it stands out so much. But here we are. How many days has it already been? This is your fault. Tell us more. But he doesn't know. He can't know. We're done for. And they start to fall into despair. Yeah, when something that they have based their lives around forever, for literally forever, disappears, what do people do? Well, they freak the fuck out a little bit. And we meet her. And she's such a beautiful character design. Both twins, right? But the character design is built to accentuate her with the freckles and the red eyes and the white hair, and to accentuate her albinism as something really interesting. And it is extremely interesting, but it also functions on this metaphorical level, right? Not only is she different, but she is trapped. She cannot go outside. She's stuck. And there's this parallel between that and Tanyu as well that immediately clicks into my mind. That's like, this is a person who is different and special to some degree, but can't go outside and desperately wants to. And that desperate desire to be somewhat like everyone else, to be able, at least to be able to do all the things that others are able to do, is part and parcel to her persona and to her character. Hiyori, what are you doing? You'll get hurt. And we see immediately, we understand something about these two the relationship between these two, which is that they genuinely care about each other. And that compassion and that caring about each other is the driving emotional force behind the majority of this episode. And it is absolutely impeccably written and really extraordinarily put together. Even when they come to a head, even when we get to the darkest points between them, it's so clear that both of them love and care about each other, and that they're lashing out at each other, or like some of the things are unavoidable. The whole sequence, we'll get to it, but the whole sequence where she asks if she's being pitied, if Hinata is pitying her, is absolutely fucking heartbreaking, because yes, Yes, and it's sad, and of course she loves you and wants the best for you, but like, and you don't want to be the one holding her back. Ah, I can't even put it into words. It hurts so much. And it's also, it hurts so much to see her find this glimpse of freedom and run around outside and like, the world is mine now. I'm free. I don't burn when I go outside. I literally would burn and start getting sick if I went outside. And now I'm free. I'm not trapped in this back room. And all of the elements that we follow through as we go. Can you cure her? Could you tell me more? So, it was the Tsuki Mukage, I think, or similar, the two children. The mother dies, so he raises them alone, and she gets sick if she's not inside. So she ends up trapped in the back room, shutters closed, by the light of lanterns. And they overhear this. They overhear the why. And they overhear this, that the other daughter shielded her from the light. And Hinata loves her for this, but it makes her sad, right? How do you reconcile those things? I don't know. Could we help you rid us of this eclipse? And we cut into this room, and I love what we do here. How we spend so much time focusing on all of the toys. The toys, the books, the dolls, all of the books, right? Which for a house in a farming village, that's an insane amount of books and toys and like games of skill, like catching the ball. This is her place. This is her whole world, or what these shots say to me, right? This is everything to her. She wants desperately for freedom. She has to stay here. She has to stay safe by staying here, but she can't. How do you explain that to her? All the things you like are right here, but she doesn't want those. She wants to be free. And so her sister goes and finds a piece of the world and brings it to her. And I think it's the sweetest goddamn thing possible. This whole scene is just amazing. It's also absolutely fantastic, mostly on one's animation to make this butterfly happen. Absolutely gorgeous, with other ones just as beautiful in the background, or almost just as beautiful. Like the rippling of the wings, how they don't just go like this, right? They go like this. Amazing looking. A gorgeous scene. I found a place with lots of flowers. I'm sure it'll be fine if we go there one day. So they try during a cloudy day, and it doesn't work. Side note, clouds don't really protect you from UV radiation. They just don't. It cuts through them. It goes straight through. So you can get burned in the clouds. And that's kind of what's going on here. I mean, in the real world, those individuals with albinism are capable of going outside, but are at an immensely higher risk of being burned and acquiring skin cancer and other ramifications from being out in the sunlight, and are generally very sensitive to light and things like that. This is, of course, like magical super albinism, so she gets ultra burned and super sick immediately, and that fucking sucks. It just fucking sucks. But it's close enough to the real thing that it speaks to that, and I think in what I think is a powerful and like compassionate way. And then we get this kind of stuff, right? And I disagree with the father here, but I understand. And so much of this episode falls into this category of I disagree with what they're saying, but I fully understand why, as people, not just as characters, but why as people they would think the way that they do. And that's some of the most amazing stuff about Mushishi, about the writing of Mushishi, is that characters act like people do, and they act so broadly and variedly like people do, how people react so differently to different circumstances. Thinking back to like the painter with the mountain on his cloak, right? All of the ways that he interacted with his story, the ways that he reacted to the occurrences of his story felt like real human actions. And I think that's true for basically every episode of Mushishi, and pretty much all of the main characters of each of these episodes is they act in such a human way, even if it's not good, even if it's not like what I would consider right by like a broader perspective. From their own perspectives, they do exactly what they should, which in this case for him is help your sister be okay with staying inside, right? We don't have any way to fix this. Stop telling her stories. Stop bringing her things that make her want to go outside. And so she does. She stays with her. And when she asks about the meadow, we can try to go there some other time. Can you pick me some flowers from that meadow? And we see her like do the calculus in her head and go, but Dad asked me not to tell you stories about beautiful things on the outside. So she lies. I forgot where it was. I don't know. I'm sorry. And Hiyori knows that she's not telling the truth, right? Like, it's one of those situations, but she's not going to call her out on it, but she knows, right? So they sit and they play together and they play with dolls, and Hinata goes so far out of her way to try to make her sister feel welcome and whole and right and okay. But then the outside world intrudes once more and reminds her that there are other children out there who want her and want to be with her. And we get so many good expressions from Hiyori throughout all of this. Her face here is like stung and like what do I do here? The slightly open lips, the little frown, the like bit of surprise, but knowing exactly what's going on. And Hinata tells them, no, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay here. This is good. And she tells her, but I like being with you more. And Hiyori's voice actress absolutely kills this utterly heartbreaking line. Usotsuki. She also kills basically every fucking line that she has, to the point that I'm going to take this opportunity to look up Hiyori's voice actress. Can I even find it? Does it have a different page? It has its own page on Mal. That's great. That's very helpful. Whoa. What? Okay, the voice actress is Yuna Watanabe. She was born in 2002. So she was 12 voicing this. As was her sister's voice, Ryo Sasaki, March 25th, 2002. So 12 or 13. Yuna Watanabe has not had any roles past this, as far as I know. She may be involved in other, like, in other stuff in Japan, but I don't know. And I don't know about Ryo Sasaki either, but she was in like Sokyo no Fafner and Obake no Dokuro and Majoko Shimai no Yo-Yo to Nene. Cool. A couple of things that I've never heard of. Cool. I'm absolutely stunned by that. It was Yuna Watanabe at 12 or 13. Well, January 6th was her birthday, and this aired on January 4th. So she was 12 when recording, and then 13 when it aired in 2014. absolutely amazing. That is I would not have pegged that as a 12-year-old, as a child at all. I would have thought that was a pretty high profile voice actress, but it actually explains a bit about why they genuinely sound so young.
でも私、日和といる方が楽しいし。嘘つき。
But for a 12-year-old to pull off that, like, drop in tone and a little bit of huskiness and a bit of almost cry in the voice is amazing.
私、日和といる方が楽しいし。嘘つき。あんなに外で遊ぶの好きだったじゃない。そんなこと。自分。
Amazing. Is it because you feel guilty? Yes, absolutely. And we just watch both of them, facial expressions and vocally, watch their hearts break for each other. I don't want your pity. Of course not. But what else? Pity and compassion are there's a fine line. There's a fine line between them, and your sister is trying to be the best sister that she can be for you. And hurting you by doing so. Like, this is complicated familial interpersonal dynamic stuff. And this is what I mean when I say they took this two-parter and used every minute of it to dig deeper into the underlying human condition of the things that are like highlighted by the experiences of Mushi. But what should I do then? I don't know. What can you do? And she responds with the impossibility, trade places with me. And yet that impossibility comes to pass. To a weird extent here. Why should I be the one trapped? But then it's cruel. You don't, like, Hiyori is lashing out here. She doesn't actually wish for her sister to experience the same things that she does. She doesn't want anyone to, right? And so she asks for this impossibility and also something that she doesn't actually want. She just desperately wants freedom. She desperately wants to be able to go outside and play like a normal child, like a normal person, to not be trapped in this back room. This whole interaction is some of the hardest to watch, hardest to experience writing that I have seen. Period. But certainly in Mushishi. If you can't do that, just go away already. And of course, she's lashing out. When you're next to me, I can't help but think that I should have had a life like yours instead. Oh, yeah, also.
日向がいるだけで、私も本当ならこうだったのにって。
She's so good. So inside she stays. And then out she wanders. So we talk about the condition, and she's being kind of not belligerent, but on the same path. And of course, away she runs, out into the freedom that she knows, to see the world that she never gets to see. And her facial expressions are so good, and the voice acting is so good. Oh, weird bug. Yes, indeed. And she walks by people and sees them falling apart. So gloomy just because they can't be in sunlight, but I can never be in sunlight. But that's not it. It's that sunlight drives the world, right? Drives all of life. She can't understand that. She just feels this, like, almost validation for seeing other people dragged low to where she feels like she's been her whole life. And I think that's very human as well, and very real. And we might want to dismiss it as childish, but I don't think it is. I think we as people very often love seeing people who have more than us, or who are like more famous or wealthier or better off in some way than we are, dragged low, because it makes us feel like, haha, now you understand how I've felt my whole life. But it's not good. It's the polar opposite, the legitimate, literal opposite of compassion. And this episode manages to highlight that prime element of being human and one of the dirtier parts of the way that we think. Amazing. And it manages to do that by letting us empathize with this character who doesn't deserve what's going on with her and deserves better. It's so good. It's so good. This episode is so fucking good. So away we go, and she remembers Hinata carrying her out when she got hurt because she went outside, right? So she remembers her sister being there and helping her and saving her and protecting her. She may have shielded Hinata in the womb from the light, but Hinata has helped shield her for her whole life as well. There's mutualism there. They are two parts of a whole. They're twins. And then that metaphor gets twisted into, and not twisted in a bad way, but like turned into the core and the root, right, of the Mushi, soaking up the sunlight while protecting the one that stays behind. But both are necessary for the whole thing to function, right? And that's the sisters as well. All of the duality in this episode. There's just so much. She finds this beautiful ethereal meadow of flowers, which we saw before in the opening. So we go, oh, that's probably a thing. This place that she knows of because of Hinata. And at this point, she realizes, I wish we could have seen this together. I wish that I hadn't said what I did. I wish I hadn't pushed you away. Fuck. How did you get those? That might be the place. Please, please, please take us there. Of course you want things to stay this way. But the world is bigger than you. You are human. You need food. This moment, and some of these moments with the hair covering the eyes and her little bits of resentment pulling through. Grr. But he tells her of the Hihami, that it cannot live underground forever, that they must trade places to an extent, that the core must go out and obtain the light. And days go by, and Hinata is pulled away. But she was influenced. So we search, and she chooses. This little moment speaks a lot. I took it for granted that it would rise every day. And she starts to see and starts to understand a little bit. She also starts to understand that relationship with her sister. And again, the metaphor just keeps creating little ties between what's going on physically in the world at this point and what's going on emotionally between the characters. And that is some of the coolest, most careful writing that I have seen, full stop. Integrating the real world threat, the real world circumstances of this eclipse and what comes after it, and connecting those to the interpersonal conflict and the interpersonal love and relationship between these two sisters is some of the coolest writing as an idea that I have ever seen, full stop. I think it's absolutely fantastically put together. And all of the visuals and all of the music just serve to accentuate it and to make it real. I also love this whole sequence of cuts. If you have ever been hiking and made your way like down a too steep hillside while grabbing onto branches, they nail the like having to lower your center of gravity and trying to find footholds and trying to find places that are stable, and the absolute terror of when your grip slips or when your feet slip out from under you. They really nail this whole sequence in a really wonderful and powerful and realistic way. The character animation and character acting on all of this is pretty much impeccable. The slow sliding down, the way she falters and starts as she falls here, amazing, really amazing. We find Hinata with her eyes gone cold. I'm so sorry. Please, 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 please. You are my sister. I love you. And she goes and grabs her. But Hinata is invisible to most. Bring us to the place. We find the root. And from here, it becomes almost a fucking action movie in a really cool way. We've got to get it to the sunlight, but the shadow is spreading as we go, and it's moving in order to try to save itself, right? Pushing and pushing. But they do it. They manage it. They save the world. And Hinata is, or Hiyori is saved as well. She goes out into the light. The visuals of the smoke or the goop exploding into smoke are amazing. This one in particular is utterly stunning. Just awesome. And she can go out into the light, and her hair is slowly starting to turn black. And in a weird way, they have traded places, but both of them have learned so much from doing so, right? It's not that they swap difficulties, it's that they're able to have compassion. They're able to walk that line between pity and compassion for one another. Stay with your sister, and all will be well. And he gets to go away with a dope-ass crystal. Hell yeah. And to sort of poke at Adashino a little bit, hell yeah. Hey, by the way, I gave you medicine to fix these problems, ya dingus. And he gets to go and talk to Tanyu eventually at some point, maybe, but she is patient. Damn right you're patient, Tanyu. But you better maybe, like, make him put a ring on it. Come on! I'm into the ship. This episode is absolutely gorgeous, or this double episode is absolutely gorgeous. The storyline is amazing. The characters that are not introduced in the story or in this episode, the ones that we've seen before, are all great and are all in character and are all doing cool things, and I like seeing all of them. The ones that are introduced in this story, characters like the whole village, which is stunned and terrified of darkness taking over and destroying their crops. I consider the whole village to be one character. Then the sisters and the father. The character of the sisters, the relationship that they have, the problems that they face, the ways that they face them, the flaws in those ways that they face them, the struggles that they go through, the desires that they both harbor, both for each other and for themselves. You know, Hinata wants better for Hiyori, and Hiyori wants better for herself. And it all relates metaphorically to the two-part mushi that is causing the problem, and it resolves at the same time that we resolve that physical problem as well. It's pretty much picture perfect metaphorical storytelling or symbolic storytelling, grounded really deeply in very, very human interactions that read as very real and very painful. This is the best episode. It's just the best episode, and it's unfair to call it that because it's a two-parter and it's got so much more time to go deeper and to spend the time to set up these things and to spend the time doing like multiple sustained shots of the elements of Hiyori's room so that we really drive home how trapped she is, because all of those toys and things feel like they're not the real world, right? It's not enough. It's not like she's greedy. It's just that they're all placeholders. They're all like consolation prizes. And she just wants to go outside, and we just want her to be able to go outside. And by the end of the whole thing, she's able to fucking go outside, and that makes me happy. and the whole thing makes me sad, and then it makes me happy, and then it makes me curious, and then it makes me like interested, it makes me thoughtful, it makes me think about my own relationships with people, and it makes me think about struggles, and makes me think about hardships, makes me think about how I relate to the things that I want that I don't have, and how I relate to when other people have things or have things taken away from them. And it's just it's a chunk of humanity boiled down to a 40-minute episode and then applied to a really interesting story with interesting characters, with absolutely gorgeous art all the way through, and then amazing music that makes it all flow together, and a form of storytelling that's just excellent. I don't know what else to say. I love it. It's really good. This is a damn good episode of Mushishi. Maybe the best that we've ever had. Good. Got it? Got it? Good. No, really, that's amazing. This was an amazing episode. Fantastic. I'm kind of blown away. Kind of blown away. I'm gonna wrap there. Yeah. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Mushishi special. Either 0 of Zokusho or after season 1 or whatever. But this is Hihamukage. And it is better than I expected. And I expected it to be pretty damn good because Mushishi has set a pretty high bar for itself. But this was better than I expected. It was a hard episode to watch in some places just because of how deeply I felt the emotional interactions between these characters. But it all comes around and it all comes to light. Good stuff. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Mushishi, Hihamukage. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you have thoughts on these characters or anything else in this episode, please throw them into the description or into the comments. And I will see you next week for the first episode or 2 or so of Mushishi Zokusho, which we will be watching next week. And if you want to catch that a little bit early, it'll be up on the Patreon when this one goes live on YouTube. So I'll see you there. Peace.